news.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Heading over into the drone newsosphere with our buddy Jeff Sills. He's got all the latest. What's going on, Jeff, buddy?
Well, okay, so first of all, TNL News is brought to you by Camera Butter.
Yep.
Ultra high quality ND filters, screen protectors, and FPV accessories. If you want no compromise performance from your camera, get you some Camera Butter. CameraButter.com.
That's right. Yeah.
All right, so to start the news, as everybody knows, DJI has got a lot of really new, fabulous things out there for us. And so, the most important thing that I wanted to bring forth was the fact that the DJI Phantom 4 RTK and the Mavic 2 Enterprise Advanced, those operators, if you get the new firmware update, you will be able to comply with the remote ID rule by the FAA.
Is that the most important DJI news?
Well, I mean,
to some people.
Yeah.
To Chris Hope, who still flies a Phantom 4, that's pretty important.
Hey, I still fly Phantom 4 sometimes.
Well, there you go.
There's nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that.
Sometimes important to you.
Yeah.
And I still have the Heron birds, so there you go.
But of course, the other news.
Yeah, no, the other one is rumor has it that they released this drone, the Mini 4 Pro.
And apparently can cross through time and space. If you hand it to somebody on the other side of a computer screen, it'll magically appear.
That's right.
On the other side.
I meant to give this back to you.
Oh yes, please.
Yeah.
Can I grab it?
Yeah. Go ahead. There you go. Did you get it?
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, all right. You get a chance to grab a hold of it. All right. So
it doesn't work in Houston. Sorry,
no.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Oh, great!
Right.
It does.
Too close to NASA.
Look, it does vertical video for you, so you can make your videos suck if you want to. That's nice.
You can TikTok it.
Yeah.
And it is more expensive than the previous ones. The Mini 4 Pro basic model is $759. The Fly More combo with the DJI RC2 is $1,099. So this is not an inexpensive drone. But looking at some of the information in the news that I read, the pros are the raw stills and the 10-bit video, the mechanical camera rotation. It's still under 250 grams. It has all-around collision avoidance, low light sensors, and light capabilities. The cons are the camera spec really hasn't moved on. The price is more expensive, and the smart tracking that's in the drone still can be fooled. So just be careful with the smart tracking.
Do we have more flight time?
From what I understand, the flight time did increase a little bit.
Okay.
So, but you have to have there's two different batteries that will work with it. And if you have the
ultralight and then the high capacity.
Yeah, the high capacity battery will give you the longer flight time.
Right. But it puts you over 250 grams.
Yeah. And so if you want to use it by default, the 34-minute flight time is about what you expect. 30 minutes for just hovering.
By the way, the thing says 249 grams all over it. It's printed all over it. So if anybody approaches you, FAA, cops, nobody's going to be out there weighing your little drone, I don't think. They're going to see that it says 249 grams. It doesn't matter what you have on it. Loom cube, extra battery.
I actually got a label maker and put 249 grams on my Phantom as well.
See?
It's all over it.
Well, and DJI is going to do everything they can to be able to make sure that their drones don't get, into any more trouble than they already have so far.
Yeah.
And so, being able to tout this as a drone that the FAA can't mess with is a big deal for them. So, they're going to have it stamped all over the thing.
And let me know.
Can I throw in one thing about the weight, though? Or Ken, do you have something?
Well, just let us know in the chat if you intend on getting this. And
So the thing that's a little bit confusing, there's actually 3 batteries. There's the high capacity battery that works in both. There is the ultralight battery for the Mini 3. If you put that ultralight battery in the Mini 3, it makes your Mini 3 like 248. If you put that ultralight battery in the Mini 4, it makes it like 255 or something like that. So they made a lighter ultralight battery for the Mini 4 that's like 6 grams lighter and puts it under 250.
So that's like the SE.
However, it does actually have more milliamp hours. The Ultralight for the Mini 3, they're all cross compatible, but the ultralight for the Mini 4 actually has a bigger gas tank.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, if that plays into your decision to buy it or not.
What Ken said is right. I've never seen a cop walking around with, or FAA walking around with the scale. If it's a Mini, you're either at 249 or you're pretty darn close.
Right.
Yeah, and I've never met anybody from the FAA ever in where I live, so I'm not worried about it.
Me neither, and I've taunted them endlessly.
Yes.
Actually, I did, but in 2015, right before they did the 107, the guy actually came. I had lunch with the FAA because I had just flown like up my Phantom 2 up into the stratosphere, and he was like, yeah, I see that you're gaining some subscribers on your channel. You might want to tell everybody not to do that. I would appreciate it because we got this 107 thing coming up, and he had the catfish. What he ate.
Was he a nice guy?
He was a nice guy. But
you probably thought you were having lunch with the FFA, the Future Farmers of America guy, right? You're like, I love farms.
No, those guys are a dime a dozen
FFA.
in my town. I'm in a little town. They're like FFA all over the place.
Yeah, so you thought it was FFA, and then it turned out to be FAA. I mean, that one letter.
Well, if you add in a letter, it's F the FAA. Back to you in the newsroom.
All right. So next in the news, we have a story that comes from us for drones delivering drugs in prisons.
Oh, that's no good. You can't do that.
Drones are a rising concern across Canadian prisons. It's literally this easy for drugs to fall from the sky. Now, this is just a mock simulation of what it could look like, but we're about to see just how big of a problem this really is.
This was found crashed by the Matsqui prison in Abbotsford.
So what do you think makes this similar to ones that you've seen?
Well, it's the tape, so you can see that they've got tape covering any sort of lights on the drone itself to make sure to conceal its identity. You can see on the bottom here that this is obviously some sort of device the package was probably hooked onto to drop it. Here in the Pacific region, we're seeing multiple a week between our 9 institutions, but across the country, they're multiple a day. So it's become a daily occurrence for us.
And the drops can mean serious consequences. Last year, Randall says at the Matsqui prison, a single drop carrying fentanyl killed 1 person, saw 9 inmates overdose and taken to the emergency room, and 39 others needing medical support.
This camera can detect drones from pixels.
Meanwhile, this BC company, BlueVec Technology, says it's one of those vendors hoping corrections chooses its technology.
So we call that the fingerprint of the drone. So when we can ID the make, model, and serial number, it's called fingerprinting it. Really, the secret sauce is the ability to geolocate the pilot for apprehension purposes.
Mm-hmm. The secret sauce.
Yeah. It's got a little poutine in it, because that's Canada.
Poutine.
But this is becoming a real big issue. In Brisbane recently, they had a trafficker that was caught delivering a USB drive containing pornography, $75,000 worth of opioids to an Australian prison. And that person, including 2 other individuals, pled guilty, and they're going to go to jail for 11 years for what they did. And I mean, they weren't taking fentanyl, and they were taking in something called buprenorphine. It's a methamphetamine that apparently is very expensive and very popular.
Whatever happened to good old files? Aren't drones bringing files in to jail? Don't they want to get out, or they just want to stay in there and get stoned? Drop some files in there so you can get the hell out and get your own
mag.
No, that was the USB stick. It had the pornography on it. So
who wants a USB stick when you can have,
Right.
na 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 na.
Oh my God.
All right. Okay. So next in the news, Lincoln, Nebraska has been having a contest recently for the coolest thing made in Lincoln, Nebraska. And let me tell you who's winning.
Created what's known as Ignis. Essentially, it fights fire with fire. It's an attachment for a drone that drops little ping-pong-sized balls filled with chemicals near the fire. After about 30 seconds, they explode and start a smaller fire, meant to make a perimeter for firefighters battling flames and destroy fuel for growing fires. And this all started at a research lab at UNL.
It's a project we were working on and really realized that there was a lot of potential to actually get this out into the hands of firefighters so that they could actually use this in their jobs every day.
Today, nearly 200 of the Ignis systems are used across the U.S. and have even been used in Canada to help with the record wildfire season they've seen this year.
We're headed up to Canada next month to meet with a bunch of firefighters there.
Detweiler tells me Drone Amplified is working on expanding, recently opening up an office outside of Philadelphia to increase their capacity outside of Nebraska.
That is really cool. I used to live in Lincoln, Nebraska. A lot of nice people there. It's really a flat and boring place to live, but a lot of nice people there. Now, but before we move on, and I have to get this out because I can't turn off my radio morning show brain. Does anybody remember Captain Kangaroo?
Sure. Yep.
Captain Kangaroo. He was, it was children's programming, and one of the things Captain Kangaroo did was had a bunch of ping pong balls dropped on him. Yep. And I couldn't help it, but when I was watching that, I was thinking, now wouldn't it be funny if they dropped those ping pong balls on Captain Kangaroo, and Captain Kangaroo just burst into flames and fuego? All right.
Yeah.
Back to you in the newsroom. Enjoy that visual. Views. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Every person that has a flamethrower probably wants the fire dropping, capability from their drone. Anyway, so okay, when I do the news sourcing, I find thousands of news stories from Ukraine and Russia, and it has just gotten down to the point where it's a pissing match between the two as to who can come up with the best use of a drone. And so for this week, I picked these two. The first one is the Ukrainians attacking a Russian hideout.
Yeah, this is pretty cool to see. So they're just sneaking up with this drone that's got bombs strapped to it, right?
Yeah, and they're sourcing around through this forest, and they're actually flying through a forest. And once they located the dugout, then they flew right inside of it and detonated the bomb.
Dang.
Yeah, and the video lead up to that is them basically flying all around this facility, trying to figure out where the actual bunker is and wearing the VR goggles to sit there and localize it. So that was the first one. That was the Ukrainians blowing up a Russian bunker. But not to be outdone, and unfortunately, there's not a video for this one, but a Russian Lancet drone made it all the way into Ukraine and found one of their fighter bases and destroyed a Ukrainian MiG-29.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and this is an expensive loss. But yeah, rumor has it somewhere out there is a video that shows the thing. The Lancet drone actually dropped explosives on the fighter jet as it was sitting on the tarmac at the airfield near Kiev.
Sure.
It's that place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that those are the pissing match going on between Russia and Ukraine right now. Now the next story, this one I'm very proud of because we have heard numerous stories of the DJI drones being blacklisted. And this would affect adversely police departments, fire departments, and any kind of services that use these drones to protect the public. The Baltimore police have actually come forth and they're fighting against this. They're not going to get rid of their DJI drones. In fact, they have increased the number of DJI drones that they have. They have $100,000 worth of DJI UAVs that they use for law enforcement and other public agencies purposes. And they just last week bought another $38,152 in drones made by DJI because they trust those drones over anything else to be able to do the job they need. So in Baltimore, Maryland, more power to you, man. Fight the system.
Yeah, I mean, who's gonna enforce that? The police.
Yeah, there you go. That's great. Who's gonna? That's a good point. If the police department does decide that they don't want to do that, there's no real enforcement for that.
Unless the feds get involved somehow. But who's gonna allocate money to try to enforce something the police don't want to do?
Well, and and all these police departments all over the United States, especially in Florida, for instance, they get real finicky about you telling them what to do. I imagine that's going to be a big thing. I'd be interested to see how many more police stations decide that they just want to say, no, we're going to keep them.
Yeah.
So, all right. So back to prisons. Harris County, a man and a woman are accused in a scheme to get drugs into federal prisons across the U.S., turned themselves into jail on Tuesday.
Had a very, very specific list of what was supposed to be dropped at each location.
This text message provided by the Grant Parish Sheriff's Office showing that list. The locations, 7 federal prisons across the U.S. Also located during a traffic stop near a federal prison in Grant Parish, a large amount of drugs. Almost $1.2 million worth of K2 soaked paper. That's a hallucinogenic drug. $10,000 worth of Suboxone. $4,000 worth of THC wax, which is synthetic. $1,500 worth of marijuana. They also found 2 drones, 8 cell phones, a vacuum sealer, and a scale, according to the sheriff. The Grant Parish Sheriff's Office identified and charged 4 people who are a part of the scheme. 2 turned themselves into the Harris County Jail today. 22-year-old Noah Stegall and 20-year-old Kiera Hunter. We aren't sure why they turned themselves in here, although it does appear that Stegall has a criminal history in the county.
2 vehicles have been seized, and we're expecting a number of arrests as this investigation continues.
Stegall and Hunter's exact roles are not known. They are due in court in Harris County tomorrow morning for a fugitive hearing.
Okay, so there was an autel in there carrying some stuff I saw.
Looked like an Evo 2.
Yeah. Look, how come, and thank goodness, criminals, they forget. They're like, nobody will ever see my text message. That's the thing that always gets me. It's always a text that gets you. They'll get you. They can get your texts.
One of the things on the list was a USB-C to USB-A converter.
Right. I was looking at the list. Wouldn't it be funny just to see and 12 McNuggets? Just something random on there.
Here's the thing. They're flying bright orange drones over prisons. It's like, at least.
Yeah, Autel's not very quiet either.
No.
Yeah, if you're going to look, not to give anybody ideas, but you see these drones that are recovered after their failed drone drug drop operation, right? They're never camouflaged. Like, take some time and glue some feathers to it. I'm not trying to help. Just a few feathers.
Or just tie a bird to it, so that it's flapping its wings and,
Or, go get a
catapult.
Go get a bird, a catapult. Yeah, I mean. Right.
Now, if you really want to tip the fingers and just play with fire, tell them to paint the bottom of the drone this color of the sky.
Oh, see, now you've done it. Now you've done it, Jeff.
Yeah, now I've done it.
Somebody's watching going, I didn't never think of that. Man, that Jeff Sills, he's smart.
All right, so next in the news, we have a drone show that was recently showed off at the ASU USC football game. And what's really impressive is that they timed this with the halftime show on the field.
All right. Now,
the marching band?
I'm going to play this, okay? But I sped it up 4 times because these shows are always boring unless you speed them up. All right?
Whoa.
Yeah, so this is sped up 4 times.
Those kids are marching fast.
They are. That's pretty cool display. How many drones was this, Jeff?
I think that's about 600 drones that was.
Did you see a helicopter going under it?
Oh, that was another drone. That was a drone filming the drones.
Wow.
Yeah, how many drones, Jeff?
This was 600 drones that were used at the ASU show.
That's too many drones. They need to back it down.
When I first saw the video, I was sitting there thinking, is that over the field? Then I realized it's back behind the stands. But the
problem would be with that. I've only seen one drone show at a children's hospital. They were doing something, and if you're at the wrong angle, you can't really see what it's a 2-dimensional thing. So they do it way over on the side so that you can actually see everything that you're supposed to see, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it needs to be off in the distance and have some different. And the other thing is obviously is they want to do it in an area where if the drones fail and fall, that there's nothing underneath them. And you don't want it on the field. But I thought it was really cool that they had this drone show going on at the same time that they had stuff on the field.
The marching band.
Yeah, to have the coordination to it. That I thought was unique, and I look for stuff like this for you guys to try to find something that is a little bit different each time.
That's super
cool. And you
do
a great job. You do a great job.
All right. So last in the news, and this one is the one that really, I have to say that I had mixed emotion about it at first when I read it, but then I felt better about it after watching the video. So we're not allowed to fly drones at airports.
No.
That's a serious no.
Yeah.
And the only people that are ever allowed to fly drones at airports do it, to like inspect aircraft, or they're doing like bird avoidance, where they chase the birds away.
They do what?
Or
they do what? What avoidance?
Oh, fuck. That's just
what?
wrong.
What avoidance, Jeff?
No.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. Well, the bird is a word. Well, a bird. Well, the bird's a well, a bird. Well, the bird is a word. Well, a bird. The bird's a well, a bird. Well, the bird is a word. Well, a bird. The bird's a well, don't you know about the bird? Well, everybody's talking about the bird. Well, a bird. The bird's a well.
There's not enough alcohol in this house.
I didn't even prompt you
to deal with this crap right now. Yes.
He was talking about chasing birds away.
Anyway.
Jeff, chasing.
We're not talking about that anymore.
What are they
mitigation?
What are they chasing away?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about this. So this company, Atlas Nest, has developed an outdoor docking station which houses the company's Atlas Pro tricopter drones.
Uh-huh.
And these drones are going to be set up around an airport. But look at what they're using them for, because this is really cool.
Uh-huh. You didn't go to rehearsal, I guess. There's no video. That's it. Jeff, you're muted.
Yes, I'm muted because I was cursing the living daylights out of the fact you played that darn video.
That's it, man. That's it. We got a picture. That's all.
Yeah. All right. So the Atlas Nest is a system that is being developed to be used around airports. It uses the Atlas Pro tricopter drone made by this Atlas Aerospace company, and they have multiple drone stations that are going to be set up around an airport, depending on how large the airport is. But what's interesting about how these drones are used is that if an airplane has trouble and it lands on the runway and either crashes or it doesn't have the gears down or something, and they need to have an emergency response, the drones will be launched immediately to give the people that are coming to the location information about the status of the plane, what they're walking into, the orientation, where it's at, the coordinates. It gives real-time aerial view information. It has thermal cameras to be able to tell them whether or not the fire is small or if it's getting bigger, et cetera.
Hot or not.
Yeah, and it'll be able to track, be able to find bodies or find people. And this system has a claimed runtime of 32 minutes, communication range of about 10 kilometers or 6 miles. Using LTE, and the drones are autonomous. In other words, they will launch the minute that they hit the emergency button, and then they will go out and they will find the aircraft. They'll collect the information. They'll stay on site as long as they can, and then come back and land and recharge themselves.
Yeah.
It is a very unique way of using drones, especially around an airport, because you have to sit there and think, the minute that a plane crashes, they close the airspace, planes are diverted. That airspace is now open for these drones to be able to go in and do their job. And I love this. I think this is
which airport is this at? Or is it being used somewhere?
I don't have a fact that it's being used. I know that the Air Nest airport solution is currently being tested.
Proof of concept.
Yeah. But they're working on trying to get this set up around airports so that it would help them. Also, the other thing it can be used is to check out suspicious vehicles. monitor, certain runways if they are concerned about the status of a runway.
And
they can trigger the Atlas from Nest to go out
and what else are they good
no,
for?
No, it doesn't do what you're wanting me to say, and I'm not going to say it.
What does it do?
No.
What does it do? Yeah.
Chase away.
No, it doesn't do that.
I mean, the name of the thing.
No.
The name of the thing is the Nest.
No.
What else uses nests?
You know what? I think it's about time that I called news completed, because I'm very happy that TNL News was brought to you by Camera Butter. Ultra high quality ND filters, screen protectors, and FPV accessories. If you want no compromised performance from your camera, get you some Camera Butter. CameraButter.com.
Yeah.
Say goodbye, Jeff.
Oh, are you leaving us now?
Yes.
With these unanswered questions?
Yes, I'm leaving with unanswered.
Well, all right then.
Thanks for stopping by. Now get out.
We should probably mention RemotePilot101.com. Isn't it a great place?
Great place.
It is a great place. Tell us about your place, Jason.
So, Remote Pilot 101, no one has prepared more Part 107 pilots than us. And you'll be pleased, those of you who are current customers now, you're going to be experiencing version 3 and a brand new learning management system in about 2 weeks. So the best just keeps on getting better. RemotePilot101.com. Use promo code Heron18, which, by the way, Ken, I can't brag on you enough. When we search promo codes, you know me, I'm all about our marketing and everything else. Heron18 is the most used promo code. Your people listen to you, Ken.
Yay! Thank you, people. I appreciate that. And you've been very busy updating the lessons too, because
there's not every video has gotten a facelift. There's 76 videos in there. Every single one has gotten a facelift. The course has gone from 9 hours to almost 12 hours now. There's just so much new content. We're always trying to innovate, push new content. Now with all the recurrent tests changing so much, we're like, wow, we just launched our new course. We need to fix it now. So we're back to that. I was just reviewing some of the stuff our writers sent over earlier for some of the content, and there's some more great stuff coming out here soon as well.
And you take actual questions that test takers give you and kind of incorporate those in the quizzes too, right? So they're actual FAA questions.
We have a ton of data on that, no doubt. So yeah, and I always share. You know this, Ken. I call them the boot camps at the end, where I share. This is a question you're going to see on your knowledge test. Let's not memorize it. Let's understand the why behind it. But just to prepare them for the knowledge test. You know this, though, Ken. I want you to be safe in the real world. My mission isn't just to pass a test. I want you safe when you're out there flying FPV, whatever it is, so you can be a light and be a mentor to everybody else that's out there wondering about what this new drone space is. Even though it's not that new, but to many it is so new. We have to be ambassadors to that.
You're a shining star, Jason. A shining star. Awesome.